The Raptors can't land Lillard in a trade with Portland as they now shift to Plan B. Hey everyone, Rob Wong, joined alongside by Toronto SUN Raptors and NBA writer Ryan Wolstat. And Ryan, the Raptors had been rumored to be in the mix for Portland Trailblazers guard Damian Lillard. He ultimately does get moved, but it's to Milwaukee instead. Why did things not work out in the Raptors' favor?
Well, I guess to put it most simply, they didn't want to pay the cost to get Lillard is by all accounts what happened. They were trying to get him on their own terms. They didn't want to make a mistake like Minnesota did in, giving up the house for Rudy Gobert a couple of years ago, or when Utah also got a haul for Donovan Mitchell. They just weren't interested in playing that game, and they weren't even interested in playing half that game, from what I've heard and from what others have reported as well. Like, they wanted to do a deal that didn't break up their core. That means no OG Anunoby, no Pascal Siakam, no Scotty Barnes, obviously. They wanted to add Lillard to those guys and give up other stuff like rookie Grady Dick and a bunch of draft picks and stuff like that. And that just wasn't going to get it done, not when Drew Holiday and picks and also a way to get DeAndre Ayton to Portland was coming back. So the main thing is it just seemed like they weren't completely committed to doing this, which isn't that shocking because it seems like they haven't been completely committed to doing anything for a while now.
So where do the Raptors go from here? They've got three pending unrestricted free agents in Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, and Gary Trent. What direction should this team go, in your opinion?
Well, they have some options. They can make a smaller trade if they want to, if Lillard wasn't going to work. Maybe they go for a Malcolm Brogdon, who was Sixth Man of the Year. He's had injury histories, but he's a heck of a guard, and he's obviously a bit disgruntled in Boston. Would Boston trade with a rival? I'm not sure. They could get a Buddy Hield to add some much-needed shooting. So they could go get a useful piece that won't cost anything near what Lillard cost. They could stand pat and see what happens. Or they can make another big trade. I think the big trade is probably the least likely. They could even maybe sell off Pascal Siakam, but as we've talked about before, that doesn't seem to be happening. They talked to other teams throughout the summer and nothing came up. But as you said, three unrestricted free agents: Gary Trent, OG Anunoby, and Pascal Siakam. And OG has no reason to do an extension now because he can get a lot more next summer. So he's going to wait most likely. Siakam could do an extension, but it seems like the Raptors and his team haven't been able to come to anything. And there's also, if he makes another All-NBA team, he can get paid more next summer as well. So it's kind of tough for him to make that call. And then Trent, there were rumors when he opted into his final year of his deal that he was going to sign an extension, but that hasn't happened yet. So it's kind of all up in the air. And media day is only a few days away. It's on Monday. So it's interesting that they found themselves here.
Well, on the Bucks side of things, they are now the betting favorites to win the NBA title with Lillard in the fold. Would you agree with that? Are they now the best team in the league?
I don't think so. I think, I think you can make a good case that they're on par with Boston in the East, and that'll be a really interesting race to see who's first in the East if it's one of those two teams. But I still think Denver is better. I think the defending champs, they still have the best player in the world. As great as Giannis is, as great as Damian Lillard is, if I could have Giannis and Lillard or Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, I'm going to go with their team. And I think they still have a better supporting cast, not quite as old as Milwaukee's. So I would still take Denver because I don't think they have an answer for Jokic. And I'm not sure with Drew Holiday, perhaps the best guard defender in the NBA, now traded. I'm not sure they have an answer for Jamal Murray for what we've seen the Canadian do in the playoffs either. So I'm going to go with Denver, but I might agree that Milwaukee's better than Boston now, but it's very close.
Yeah, it should be an interesting time in the Eastern Conference. That first Raptors-Bucks game in Toronto will be very interesting as well. For all of Ryan's NBA coverage, head over to the Toronto Sun.